Isn't it a fact that the president's proposed budget proposes $4.7 trillion in new taxes?
It does propose significant additional taxes, yes.
4.7 trillion?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into some seriously fiery moments from a recent Senate hearing where Senator John Kennedy absolutely torched Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen on Biden's budget. This was a jaw-dropping exchange, with Kennedy asking all the hard questions we've been wondering about. $4.7 trillion in new taxes. Federal spending is up 55% since 2019. And what about that debt rising to $51 trillion by 2033? Yeah, buckle up for this one. Let's get right into it. Alright, so Kennedy starts by hitting Yellen with some tough facts. The federal budget is set to rise by about $500 billion next year. He's like, isn't it a fact that the president's proposed budget is $500 billion more than this fiscal year? Yellen tries to downplay it, saying, well, it's about $400 billion, maybe $500 billion. But Kennedy doesn't let her off the hook. He's hammering the point home, calling out how much government spending has grown since 2019 and is up 55%, while the population only increased 1.8%. That's a crazy difference. And let me tell you, Yellen's response was pretty weak. She stumbles over her words just like Biden would do, and admits she doesn't even know the numbers off the top of her head. How can you be the Treasury Secretary and not know that? But it gets even worse. Next up, Kennedy hits Yellen with another bombshell. He asks her if the president's budget is proposing $4.7 trillion in new taxes. And guess what? She admits it. She tries to soften the blow by saying, yeah, it proposes significant additional taxes. But let's be real here, that's a lot of new taxes.
Isn't it a fact that the president's proposed budget proposes $4.7 trillion in new taxes?
It does propose significant additional taxes, yes.
4.7 trillion?
Something like that, yes.
Okay. You talked about reducing deficit. Isn't it a fact that under President Biden's proposed budget, that gross debt will rise from $32.7 trillion at the close of this year to $51 trillion by 2033?
I'm sorry, what number did you give me for?
The president's proposed budget will increase gross debt from $33 trillion at the close of this year to $51 trillion in 2033. Isn't that correct?
Well, debt held by the public, which is...
No, ma'am, that's gross debt. Isn't that a fact?
That's probably a fact.
So you haven't reduced the deficit, have you?
The deficit, the debt and deficits are reduced by the president's budget.
How can you go from $33 trillion to $51 trillion and call that a reduction in the deficit?
Because that's a calculation for which you need a baseline, and then you compare the budget and the deficits and debt in the budget with a baseline in which there are none of the changes, either in revenues or in spending, that are proposed in the budget.
Here's my baseline. At the end of this year, we project, people a lot smarter than me, probably not than you, but smarter than me, say that gross debt's $33 trillion. They say if the president's budget is implemented by 2033, it'll be $51 trillion.
So there you have it, a fiery exchange between Senator Kennedy and Secretary Yellen. We've got $4.7 trillion in new taxes, ballooning debt, and a Treasury Secretary who seems pretty out of touch with the numbers. The question is this: are these policies helping or hurting America's future? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you believe these tax hikes are necessary, or are they just digging us deeper into a hole? I can't wait to hear your thoughts. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay updated on more political drama, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more coming your way, and you won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.